All right. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. We're going to pick Gregg's starting 11 for this Bosnia game.
Not going to happen.
And no, I mean, we're probably going to get it all wrong. But, amazingly, we have been very, very close to being very right most of the time. With Gold Cup and Nations League, we've been really close to like 99% in World Cup qualifiers.
But this is such a strange camp, because Berhalter even mentioned how he wants to have the MLS players that are going to be contributing to our World Cup qualifying in January, keep them moving, keep them going, keeping them sharp. And then we have a slew of young players that are bound to get their first cap, and then a couple question mark players of whether or not they're going to play at all. We know a couple of them that aren't going to play because of recovering from injuries, but
yeah, and just for people who aren't sure, you can't be capped nationally from this game versus Bosnia.
Sure. It's the quote unquote cap for US. Like, so
right. I just want to be sure.
Cap-tied. They're not cap tied by any means.
We're not going to cap tie anybody. Jonathan Gomez or Kobe Henry. They're not going to be capped, or Paredes. Not going to be capped.
They will have an official cap for the U.S., but it's not cap tying.
That's correct. By the way, weirdest thing on my feed today, news on my feed. Weirdest yoga. Woman breastfeeds cat on Delta Airlines flight. Woman breastfeeds cat on Delta Airlines flight.
Is it at least a kitten, or maybe the cat needed a mid-flight snack?
The picture looked like a grown cat. You can't make cats do anything, let alone breastfeed. You can't force a cat to do shit.
So,
you're like, cat, come.
All I'm picturing is her just grabbing her boob and just squeezing it into the cat's face. The cat's going, meow, meow.
I mean, if the cat is thirsty, give him some water or her some water. I don't get this. Why are you breastfeeding a cat on a fucking Delta Airlines flight? That would be weird.
Where's the kid at? If you're breastfeeding a cat, you must have had a kid recently.
Yeah, and the kid was missing, and she's like, I got to get this shit out of this tit. I've got to get they're hurting, as you know. Yeah. They can hurt when they're really full and they need to release. So maybe she's like grabbed her fucking cat and said, you're going to drink this shit because my tit hurts. I don't know. It's a very weird headline. And that was Fox News. Thank you, Fox, for that weird report. But an odd one. I've never, you know what? If I were on that plane, depending on her, I'd be like, hell yeah, this is weird. I love weird. Give me more weird. I mean, not like freaky weird, but that's bordering on freaky weird, isn't it?
It's really fucking strange.
It's strange. I love strange. Like, I love the Twilight Zone. I love that shit.
Roster, huh?
Anyhow, I mean, the point is,
strange, I guess, but still.
You can look that up, folks, if you're curious. I'm not making that up. Woman breastfeeds cat on Delta Airlines flight. That's a real headline. So we're gonna. I should report real quick on the Friday players before we get to our starting 11 for Gregg's Bosnia venture. But Tim Ream went 90 and a tie for Fulham. Robinson, Jedi was injured, so he didn't play. He has some knocks. Tyler Adams went 90 in a really bad loss to Union Berlin. None of the goals were his fault or anything, but I mean, Union Berlin and Jesse Marsch need to turn this around real fast.
Why does Union Berlin need to turn it around?
Oh, Leipzig needs to turn it around.
Leipzig.
Thank you. Leipzig needs to turn it around because they were expected to be in the top 4 and they're not right now. So he's going to have to do something. I'm sure they're going to give him time, but we'll see. Matt Miazga was in the 18 for Alaves, didn't play. Chris Durkin went 80 for Dundee United in a loss. John Tompkinson went 90 in a win for the U23s. They were at Norwich. played center back. He's been playing. He's a big guy. Damian Loss and Fossey both went 90 for Fulham's U23s. Loss plays goalie. Fossey plays as a back. Johan Gomez, Jonathan's brother, went 87 in a loss for Joey Knox Zwickau down in 3 Bundesliga. Taylor Booth, 81 for Bayern 2. Christopher Scott, 90 for Bayern 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Taylor Booth, 81. Lucas.
Did Taylor Booth get the 81 playing as a striker?
No, nor as a back either. So we got Lucas Stauffer. He's 26 and he plays in 3 Bundesliga for Carl Zeiss Siena. I don't think I'm going to waste much time reporting on him going forward, but he did 90. Sato, 45, got yanked at halftime for UNAM in a loss in Mexico. And Joaquin Hernandez, 86, in a win for Atlante in Mexico in the 2nd division. All right. So
do you think what you should possibly do when you have like a list of 3rd Bundesliga teams in below, you could say like 12 players notched 275 minutes or whatever.
I could, but here's the challenge. The challenge is there are a bunch of 2 teams from bigger teams that play in 3 Bundesliga and regional Liga.
Point taken. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, the 2 teams have usually U21 kids, even though it's really kind of a U23 league, but they're usually really young. So you do have to kind of still,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Nix that idea. We'll just say, the people who have no chance for anything done.
Yeah. I mean, this starting 11, Brett, is going to be not easy, but quick because Turner's starting at goalkeeper.
Whoop.
What?
We were talking about this off air. We need to bring it back up.
What
formation do you think we're playing?
4-3-3.
Yeah. Well, so I have a 4-3-3 and a 3-4-3.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, the only reason I suspected that we were going to play with a 3 center back. Now, whether it's a 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 or however you want to narrow it down, is like 4 out of the 5 midfielders are like defensive midfielders or not very creative 8s. So I could see him possibly playing a formation that includes the wingbacks and 2 more defensive-minded midfielders and still playing your 3 attackers, since we have like 1,200 of those too.
I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I just think a 4-3-3 is more of a standard thing that Gregg wants to hammer into this unit.
Yeah,
I don't think he wants to.
It's a safe bet. But I mean, I'm just looking at that roster. I'm just like, man, there are a lot of center backs and there are a lot of defensive midfielder players.
And if anyone contributes from this lineup going forward, they're going to have to understand the 4-3-3 because we don't play a 3-4-3 very often. So that's a sort of random thing. I just wouldn't expect Gregg to do it. I wouldn't put it past him just to all right, let's play Kobe Henry, Aaron Long and Zimmerman for Austin Trusty instead of Aaron Long because he's not really 100% back. I mean, it could happen as a back 3. So it could happen, but I doubt it. I think he's going to say, I want these guys to get used to my normal system and when I play 90% of the time. So I don't think we're going to do that. So I'm sticking with a 4-3-3. All right. So 4-3-3, we are all going to agree that Matt Turner's starting this game.
Yeah, we talked about that last segment too.
Okay, that's just done. Over. Now, the interesting thing is left back. Could be Bello, but it could also be Jonathan Gomez, but there is a chance he may need to leave early before the game to go back to go to Spain, where he has been signed to get into camp early and start practicing. So he may not be available, and if he's not, that's Bello's spot.
So I totally suspect if Gomez is in the game day roster, I totally expect him to get minutes, but I suspect Berhalter will start Bello regardless.
I agree. I think so. I don't think there's not much chance of anything else happening there. It is interesting, though, because if Jonathan Gomez is leaving, that only really leaves you one left back, and that is George Bello. So,
no, Acosta's played left back before.
Yeah, but Acosta's going to be starting at CDM, and
Yeah,
you know that, and I know
that. Bello gets pulled at halftime per usual. Acosta switches back to left back, and then all of a sudden you bring in a different midfielder.
Like Cardosa to fill in, maybe.
No,
yeah, I
well,
mean,
I fully suspect if Bello's not playing in at some point, that there's just another wing back that's just going to fill a spot, and he's just going to be playing out of position.
Yeah. On right back, though, you got a total flip of the coin. It could be Lennon. It could be Paredes. It could be Che. You just don't know. Suspecting Gregg, as I do suspect him, I think it's going to be Lennon.
You didn't even mention Reynolds.
Oh, it could be Reynolds too. Why, man, we are way overloaded on that side.
This is one reason why I don't think Che is going to be a right back option.
I know people listen him as a CB, but I don't think he's going to play center back. I think his best chance is playing right back at this point. So I don't know. I mean, he's been playing right back for DC. For Dallas. And then even before that, he was at the end of his run with Bayern, he was playing right back because this is sort of a safe place to play a young player, right? Who's big and tall, and you don't want him to fuck up in the center back situation because that's deadly. But out wide, you're less, mistakes are less deadly. So I don't know, Brett.
I'm the way I look at the right back position is you had Berhalter spend some time during this conference talking about why Lennon's included. Now I know that's because he was specifically asked why was Lennon included. But he talks about his ability of getting forward and his presence in the attack. But we also spent the time and effort to bring Reynolds back for the camp. So I mean, I could see him playing Reynolds primarily just to say, hey, we brought him back into camp, barring some really shitty performances during camp. But went through that effort to bring him in. I suspect he'll probably get playing time one way or another. Maybe I'm going to assume a start though.
Okay, you know what? I'm with you. I think either Reynolds or Lennon starts, and that's sort of a flip of the coin. But both of them are getting minutes, and maybe Che comes in for Trusty or Zimmerman. 75 minutes in to get some time at center back. But that's the only way I think Che's going to get any real playing time here because he's not really had a great season. He's sort of not regressed, but he's sort of plateaued in a way when he went back to Dallas, where I think he was just freaking doing amazing stuff at Bayern.
At Bayern, what position did he actually play? Because the highlights that I remember seeing, I thought he was centered.
He did. He started out at center back, and they played him there a bunch of times. And then as his time was running out there, I think it was the last 3 or 4 games he played right back. And he's pretty good at it too. So, you can look that up.
Now that we're about to branch off into the center back position, I guess we can just start there. Who do you got?
I got Zimmerman and Trusty. I think Zimmerman's a lock. I think then you ask yourself, is it Kessler? No. Is it Che? No.
I'm saying yes.
You think Che's going to start next to Zimmerman?
Yeah.
I don't. I think he'll go with Trusty.
Che is comfortable with the ball on his feet. From what I recall seeing, I haven't really watched many of FC Dallas's performances, so I can't say what he looks like from the right, at least.
Hasn't been great.
From what I saw over at Bayern too. I mean, he looked comfortable on the ball, moved the ball forward, and that's something that Berhalter looks in the center back outside of being mobile.
I think Berhalter also looks at overall form over a season, and Austin Trusty was just in better form all season.
Oh, he did call him 3 injured and recovering players. Has brought in Ariel a number of times. I just don't think it's going to be Che. I just don't. I think Che will come in, get some minutes at the end, but it's going to be Trusty and Zimmerman. So this, I guess, whether it's Trusty, you do have the better record as far as channeling your inner Berhalter. But I mean, this is one thing that makes this roster interesting in the sense does Berhalter play it safe and hope to keep players moving and ready for the January window, or does he take a chance with the number of players? Because I mean, again, this is one of those. It's up in the air. He literally could go on a whim off of who's performing well in camp.
I think Gregg Berhalter's idea of taking a chance in a friendly is putting Che on for the last 15 minutes. Honestly, I do. I might be wrong. I mean, I would love to see Gomez start, but I think it's going to be Bello because I don't think Gomez is going to be available. I would love to see. Even
if he is available, I think he's going to go with a consistency there because Bello has been in the World Cup qualifying games.
I'd love to see Paredes or Che start out wide, right? But at right back. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be Reynolds or Lennon. And I think Reynolds will start and Lennon will get the last 15.
Something that Pete mentioned in his recap of it is Reynolds may get the start in the hopes that he does well and finds a loan come January.
Well, he certainly fucking needs a loan.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
He's out of that shitstorm.
Yeah. I mean, we all know Jose Mourinho. We know he doesn't play young players. Never has. That's why De Bruyne ended up in Man City. That's why what's his face ended up at Liverpool. Mo Salah. I mean, these were all Chelsea players. He just sort of said, "Yeah, whatever," you know. And he didn't do it by himself. There were other managers as well who also said,
fortunately for him, he's coached at places with big pockets, and you don't necessarily have to rely on youth.
Right. That's Roma and youth. That's not something that necessarily goes together. And Jose Mourinho and youth, not something that goes together either. So yeah, he got there before the special one was hired, and since it's been bench Splinter City. So let's move on to midfield.
Yep.
All right. My idea of who Berhalter will start is Acosta at the holding, Roldan and Cardoso as the eights.
Okay.
Acosta as the six, Roldan and Cardoso as the eights. What do you have different?
That's awfully conservative if he goes that route. I have we have
that's who he
we
is.
We have two of the three. We agree on two of the three. So I have Acosta as my six, and then I have Cardoso as one of my dual eights. But I also have Booth as my other eight. I think this is where he's going to take a chance on somebody who's a little more creative.
I think Booth comes in for Cardoso or Roldan.
Possible.
I don't.
But we know what Roldan brings, and quite frankly, while it's going to be nice to get a result on a friendly, starting him doesn't do us any good.
You understand how married Berhalter is to Roldan, right?
Yeah, and he can bring him in for the last 15 minutes. I don't give a fuck.
And fucking Roldan would be pissed as fuck about that. There's no way he's bringing him into camp and not starting him.
There's
just no way.
Have a messy divorce.
That's like saying, yeah, these young kids, they're above you already. There's no way that Berhalter's going to do that to Roldan. He's married to Roldan. He pets his turtle at night. Listen, this guy is going to play. He's going to start. Roldan's there for a reason. Leggett, we just be happy he's not on this lineup because he's not necessary.
Leggett would have started. Yeah, he would have started. Absolutely.
But Leggett had things to do in Hawaii.
Sure.
So, he had porpoises to swim with and whatever. So, I mean, I think we can live with Roldan being the only.
Well, I don't think we have to. We don't think we have to live with it at all because I don't think it's happening. I don't think he's starting.
Yes, he is. I guarantee it, dude. I guarantee Roldan starts this game.
It's a shame this game's 16 days from now. Why can't the game be tomorrow? And I can quickly rub it in your face.
I know you tried to make me eat crow twice tonight already.
No, the last crow's yesterday when you can't read proper English.
No, we did some crow stuff tonight, I believe.
I don't recall.
First show. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. The fact is, Roldan starting. Booth will get some minutes,
so.
and it will be near the end of the game.
I see it actually. It's funny because I see it the opposite of that. I see Booth starting, then Roldan maybe getting minutes at the end of the game.
I can tell you this: Acosta and Roldan are starting, and it's between Booth and Cardoso for the other 8 spot. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Why they listed Booth as an attacker, I have no fucking clue. That's never a position he's played anywhere. And maybe he did when he was in his U13 club, and I just don't know about it. But let's move to
I think that fits into the actually I don't know where Booth falls in the center mid as far as in Europe for Bayern 2. Does he play more of a 6 or does he play?
He's an 8.
He's an 8. Okay. So basically he fits the Clark mold, the Reina mold.
It's St. Polten. He played 8 all day long.
But that's why he's in the striker position, because he fits the, like I said, the Reina or the
he's not a 10. He's not a 10. No. He's not.
I haven't really seen much of him play. I only see the stats and everything like that. But he seems much more of a creative midfielder or creative 8 than most 8s that Berhalter calls in.
Nah, he's a box guy.
Is he box?
Yeah.
Okay, then he's just performing well then. Okay.
Just watch St. Polten last year. I mean, he was a box guy all season. He does not play a CAM spot. And since there is no CAM spot on this team, that's why we find Caden Clark listed as a forward.
Same reason why I think they have Bolden up or Bolden. Booth. Never mind. Scratch. Okay, go with Clark. Let's just move on to Clark. You're right. Let's roll.
All right. So I've got Pepe starting up front, obviously. Not a surprise. But here's where it gets complicated. I got Morris out left, and I got Clark out
Morris
right.
starting, huh?
I do over Cowell.
I know that he wants to gauge him whether he's going to be contending for a qualifying spot moving forward. So, yeah. I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't know if I guess we're looking at 16 days. So he could get some more not really match fitness, but just more fitness to actually start. I went with more of a hopeful, I guess. Who was your other one opposite of Morris?
Well, so if Morris doesn't start, here's where my flippy floppy goes. Cowell could start and Morris could come in for the last 15. Again, I keep saying that there are only 5 spots where people can come in at the 65th and 75th minute. So if Cowell starts at left midfield or left winger, then Morris comes in. But I wouldn't be shocked to see Morris start.
Oh no, my big question was, who do you have playing opposite of Morris?
Who's
right the other winger? Yeah.
Clark.
Okay. So I have Clark as well, and I have Cowell. Just because I don't necessarily, unless he picks up some fitness, I don't see him starting or Morris starting the game. I see him coming in the second half.
Okay. But I'd be fine with the Clark Cowell winger thing if it happens. And then I think Ferreira would, it's the guy that's going to come in for Pepe at some point.
Yeah. It's not Zardes, so we're good there.
Yeah, Zardes is just there for getting fit, as far as I understand it. And you can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's what he said. He said Zardes, they're gauging whether or not Morris is going to be fit for the qualifiers. And Long is still recovering, but he's been in the last 2 camps now. Yeah.
Oh, did you see that guy who put that comment? It was like, what do you think of Bruce Arena now, Derek, after the Revs loss in the playoffs? I still think very highly of Bruce. So that didn't change. I mean he had a great fucking regular season and they lost in the playoffs. Shit happens in the playoffs.
An unfortunate result does not nix an entire season's worth of performances.
I mean, they were great all season long. They were the best team out east. And with players, a lot of domestic players. They're not the kind of team that goes out and just signs all these Argentinian players. I mean, yes, they got Boo. I get it. They have some, but they don't have a lot. They usually start 5 Americans on that team. And they were not only competitive this season, they were exceptional. And that is because of Bruce Arena. This team hasn't changed that much since he got there. It's a lot of the same people. And yet now they're good.
Same
and
thing
before,
happened in
they sucked.
Colorado, right?
Yes. And, does that mean Brad Friedel is a horrible manager? Yes, it does. That's exactly what it means. Sometimes goalies are not, that's not their thing. They can't manage a team. And he's kind of a dick. According to some people I've heard through the grapevine, as a manager, he's kind of a dick. Bruce is more of a, go with the flow guy. Like, let's have a good time. Let's and listen. Oh God, every time we bring up Bruce, we're gonna hear this fucking TNT game shit. Stop it. Leave Bruce alone. Yeah. Jesus Christ. All right. I think that's gonna do it for tonight, Brett. And it should, because if we don't do it and end it now, I'll do it. If we don't end this now.
Wow. I'm gonna reach out to HR, Derek. I did not approve of that.
Why don't we do it in the road? Boom, 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 no, no. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. Nobody will be watching us. Why don't we do it in the road? Yeah, I've been watching the Beatles thing. All right. Until the next time on the Straight Card, make sure that you like and subscribe and ring the belly deli. And we'll see you down the road. Keep watching.